This time, Las Vegas odds makers favored Ali.
Here he comes.
At 10:26 p.m. on January 28, 1974, before a sold-out Madison Square Garden, Muhammad Ali entered the ring.
Here comes Joe Frazier, Smoking Joe.
Frazier followed a minute later.
You're looking at the man many consider the most spectacular athlete of all time, Muhammad Ali. Joe Frazier gets a chance to prove tonight what he thought he proved 3 years ago, that he's a better fighter than Muhammad Ali.
Joe's coming off the loss against George Foreman. So that's going to affect the level of the craft. But with Ali and Joe, it was always hugely personal. These guys despise each other. They're foes for life.
In the first round, Ali shuffled and jabbed and kept Frazier from finding his rhythm.
Frazier's coming in wide open, wide open. The question is if Frazier can hold up under this punishment and Ali slows down.
Late in the second, Ali wobbled Frazier with a stiff right to his head.
Ali is dominating the fight.
The difference between this fight and the first fight is that Muhammad is focused on making Joe find him through his movement. When you try to make a guy find you, you can disrupt his rhythm, because if I'm moving, you don't control when I punch. I control when you punch.
Ali keeping Frazier off balance.
As the fight went on, Ali mixed his jabs with hooks and combinations and relied on clinches to stifle Frazier's attack.
Ali doing the holding.
In the first fight, Joe was like a Tasmanian devil. He never stopped punching. And if Ali held him, you could see Joe take his hands and put him down and just kept on punching. When Ali held Joe in the second fight, you never saw Joe react like that. He's cooperating with Muhammad.
Ali is outsmarting Frazier. And Frazier can't afford to give any more rounds away.
Frazier just kept coming, absorbing Ali's punches as he attempted to get under Ali's arms and land his lethal left hook.
What was holding Frazier back was the ghosts of getting knocked out by George Foreman a year prior. You know, when you're a heavyweight champion and you go to Jamaica and you end up getting knocked out by this guy, that makes you plummet. That's something you never forget. So this Joe Frazier and the one from 71, two different people. If you're Joe Frazier, every time you get hit, like a solid shot, you think about the last time you got knocked out.
Ali opening fast.
In rounds 7 and 8, Frazier broke through, tagging Ali with several devastating punches, including one that sent Ali to the ropes as the bell rang to signal the end of the 8th.
Ali's face is getting puffy.
That's by far the best round for Joe Frazier.
Frazier is so confident at this point.
In the 9th, his face swollen from Frazier's blows and his nose trickling blood, Ali connected with 10 punches for every one landed by Frazier, inspiring chants of Ali from the electrified crowd.
This is as good as the last fight. Plenty of excitement at old Madison Square Garden. This is the last round. There's no tomorrow, only tonight. The bout could end in a draw.
"You gotta stop him to win," Dundee shouted at Ali as Frazier chased after him, desperately launching left hooks.
Tremendous left hook. Frazier's teeing off. Now Frazier is getting careless. They're putting everything into this. Now it's a battle for survival. What a finish!
have their work cut out for them.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Here is your decision.
Here's the
The
decision.
winner by unanimous decision is Muhammad Ali.
Ken Burns is really good at what he does, man. Shit. That's the first thing that comes to my mind after watching that is I've watched that fight 20 times, before, and never seen it like that. Very cool.
Wow.
Yeah, right? Like, that's just wow. Just wow. That's just amazing. That was absolutely amazing.
Also, Keith David narrating. I mean, come on.
Dude,
The Shadow Man narrating your life.
the
Seriously?
best voice of all time, bar none. The best voice of all time. If I had a narrator from my life, like a lot of people say Morgan Freeman. Nah, Jack. No, that's my dude. That's my man. All right, so obviously the clip we watched is about the actual fight itself, and our quote that we're going by today is, "It's just a job. Grass grows, birds fly, waves pound the sand. I beat people up." Now, you could see in that fight that Frazier was like beating himself at times. He lost his confidence. They spoke to Foreman, knocking him out a year before, right? And they very well pointed out that he was a little more trepidatious as he went into this fight, because he knew what the mat felt like against the back of his head, so he was aware of what being knocked out does. So he was more afraid in that fight, and that held him back just that little bit, because look, I've watched the entire fight many times. I'm a big old school boxing fan. New school boxing sucks. But everybody dances now. They just dance around. It's boring now. So I watched a lot of these old fights, and this is one of my favorites because you can see the back and forth each round. Some rounds Ali just dusted him, like they said, every 10 punches for every one punch. He just, while he was bleeding. That's one of those things that makes Ali so great, is that idea that, yeah, I'm bleeding. Yes, my eye is swollen, almost shut. I'm still going to tag you with this. I'm still going to do my job. My job is to beat people up. His job, he says it like that, but his job was bigger than that, right? His job was to inspire people, to make sure people felt empowered where he didn't. As he was growing up, that was one of his biggest fights, is to make people feel empowered and feel like he wanted to feel, right? And that was the talk. That's the whole thing, the whole confidence thing. As a wrestling fan, the Ali created that stuff. He said himself that I believe Billy spoke about this in his first workshop, that he talked about how Gorgeous George influenced a lot of what he did as he was jawing to the media and talking trash and everything. But we hold Ali on a pedestal for a lot of reasons, and one of those is not just because they took his titles and he protested that and he stood by his ground. You know, he stood his ground and didn't back down. He said, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to do this. I refuse to do this. This is not my fight. And it wasn't his fight. It wasn't any of our fight. I'm not going to go off on that rant. Anyway, what he was specifically doing there was one thing. What he did throughout was another thing. What he did throughout was constantly inspire people to be greater than themselves. And that is what the biggest job of everyone is to do, man. Like it's to improve every day. You know, if you're not growing, you're sitting still. If you're sitting still, you're going to grow mold, right? So I'm going to share a few poems from different folks, and then we might even chat about them a little bit. The first one I'm going to read is by one of my very best friends, and the guy that performed my wedding, Ryan McClellan. This harkens back to the last one, the Ernest Hemingway, the Ernest Hemingway workshops. Hemingway actually wrote a letter to writers and future writers and gave a bunch of rules that people are supposed to obey. And this is Ryan's response to the list. Hemingway has lots of rules in regards to me being a writer, and I'll give it my best shot, Ernie, but there's no way I'll check off everything on your list. The only thing I can give the reader is myself, whether or not the wine, the beds, the joy, the sorrow, the good and the evil comes through will be up to you. I grew up in a town that wasn't quite small, a place that the people who live there now like to build up as a colonial area stronghold, a place George Washington stayed in a few times, but it's just another failed mill town on a river in New Hampshire, another detestable sore on the seacoast that never gave us a chance to grow up properly. But we all had the same delusions of grandeur. We all felt we'd changed the world, but now if you drive down Front Street at 10 p.m., you'll see at least 10 middle-aged men I went to high school with still staggering down to Shooter Pub for the nightly reunion with the rest of the ghosts. Hemingway would be upset with me already. No wine, no beds, no joy, no sorrow. I'm not getting to any foreseeable point, so I'd better start heaping it on now if I hope to make this anything worthwhile. I was a poor student, but not a lazy fool. Played football from 4th grade to my senior year, but didn't pick on the awkward antisocial kids because I was an awkward antisocial kid. Far too many cliches I could holler about my childhood, so stop me if you heard this one. Life changes. Fear occupies. Parents divorce. Children go insane. Anger permeates. Relationships end. Hemingway gives you a tip. You listen. You listen. You disagree with half of what you hear. You type. It gets loud. The music fades, the house lights come up, the paper is due, the deadline arrives faster than expected, the hangover kicks in, you're sitting in your living room. This list is getting to me. Wine, beds, joy, sorrow. I don't drink wine, though I should consider it since the beer has left me chubby and dehydrated. My bed sags in the center, and my girlfriend says it's the most uncomfortable thing she's ever slept on, and the guilt I feel is undeniable. Joy is sitting at this machine attempting to be something I desire. Sorrow is sitting at this machine attempting to be something I desire. Ernie, I like your checklist. I adore your qualifications, but for now, I'm just going to sit here, sip coffee and wait for one of my roommates to come downstairs, or maybe just sit here alone and pound out another manifesto to a dead man that can never give me anything back. Ugh.
That's
I love
my brother.
Was that your brother?
That's my brother.
Los Guillermos. Yeah, Ryan William McClellan is one of the most underrated writers of the last 20 years. He absolutely knocks me on my ass every time, and he does it so simply. You know, he built to one solid line in that poem throughout the whole thing. He left you metaphors for you to think about and left you images for you to think about. But the whole point of the poem is joy is sitting at this machine attempting to be something I desire, and sorrow is sitting at this machine attempting to be something I desire. Like, that idea of how painful it is sometimes to be a writer in of itself, how you put yourself through things, and sometimes you don't need to and sometimes you do, kind of, you know, to get to the bottom of the story. The next poem I'm going to read is by another one of my favorite poets. Look, I read a lot of my favorite poets in workshops because if you don't know who they are, you should, and they're really good at what they do. And one of the best writers of the last 30 years, I would wager, is Desiree Della Giacomo. This book, Sink, will change your life. Seek out any and all of Desiree Della Giacomo's work. You can find a lot of her videos on Button. I think she has 3 on there, maybe more. But yeah, absolutely, positively one of the best writers all round. Solid performer. I adore this woman's work. I adore their work.
Can I remind you to drop those names in the chat later?
Yes, I will. I will leave the names of everyone I read, and if I can find them, links to the books, if I can find them quickly, anyway. All right, this is a poem called "You Became in a Town No One Has Ever Heard of." Your father is dead, and we are driving along the highway to Chickasaw, Oklahoma, and you tell me the proper way to pronounce a town called Alex, said like Elick, and I don't argue. The highway drags on and on as we round the handle of your home state, shaped like a hatchet. You fall quiet, wrapped up inside the nostalgia that you were once a child here, and that invisible is still bottomless in you. The fucked up truth is, this is where our love was born, for better or worse, inside the hurt of our child selves. And yes, your father is dead now, and mine is maybe the same. Our kith and kin have drowned in the dirt, and America is the taxidermist of our fathers. The reason I love you like this is because I do not have to explain this ache. It is now that I see that I've spent all my life learning the vocabulary of us. Our fathers were never ours, but they were the hands of capitalism. Once I thought my father wanted a daughter, but all he knew to want was an axe, and your father the oil. You were not supposed to inherit the tenderness we give each other. Your father has died, and it has opened a wound in you that shows me a light. Oh, how I thank the truck at 4 a.m., the tree through your jaw, and the straight edge that followed the line that led you to me. Oh, how I thank your father's fist, and how you learned who to be by what not to be. A fist. Oh, how I thank our mothers for this capacity to love so full of mercy. How you wouldn't be the man I love if it weren't for the crack pipe, the trailer park, the rehab, the not love your father knew and held fast all along the way to the grave. Oh, Oklahoma and your grand and fucked up nothingness. Oh, sweet dirt road and rounded bend that sat us into the silence of it all. Oh, how the sharp edges of hurt have chiseled away at the gift of a life so pregnant with possibility. Oh. Ah! Oh man, look, I cannot stress enough how much I love this person's work, and this isn't even my favorite poem. It's that good, and it's not even my favorite poem. And it's talking about that fight that some of us, not all of us, but some of us have to go through. You know, I assume most people have had to fight in some way if they're a poet. So I feel like I can include everyone in this. I feel like every poet knows the idea of struggle, of fight, of trying to overcome, and that's most likely why they write. Regardless of who they are, it probably stems from that, and that's what this poem is about. You know, I look, I have the perfect life now. You know, it wasn't always this way. It was really, really bad at times, and I'm aware of that. But I am aware also that I had white male privilege to bail me out every time. You know, I never had to ask for a second or 10th chance. I'm a white dude. They just said, here, try again. You know, that's the way it works in this country. And I think most poets are aware of that. And if not, this probably isn't the right workshop for you. That's a joke. I'm playing. Don't leave. Don't leave. So that idea is about that work of who we become, of how we become, and the path we go. Now, the last poem I'm going to read is one of mine, because I was told I have to read one of mine. That's just the way it is, I guess. So, the idea of being a poet is not something everyone is accustomed to. The idea of what goes into being a poet sometimes. I did not go the academic route. I was a street kid yelling poems on a street corner, and eventually paid attention enough that I learned how to do it okay, at least okay enough to get by. So I wrote this poem about that while I was on a lonely book tour by myself, and didn't have like my own car or anything. I was hopping planes and buses and running from gate to gate and hoping the last plane to Boise was going to wait for there's only one of 7 passengers for just that extra 10 minutes. They did, by the way. They did, and I got there on time. Anyway, so this is called See Me Poet. I watched soft brown and pink faces wander among the hard red and brown rocks. Mothers held hands with daughters. Husbands raced sons around trails. Couples kissed in full view of us all. I wandered too, I alone. My children in 4 separate states, none of them near the one I was standing in, all of them various degrees of hurt, angry, or confused by me, by my various degrees of hurt, anger, and confusion, by my various degrees of movement, mostly away. I am confused by my hurt and anger. I am confused by all this need for movement. I do not know why I love these highways, these people I've yet to meet. I do not know the reason for all these 4 in the mornings and bad parental choices. I do not think I need those. I only think that they need me. I need love like all live things. Love, though, has been too many metaphors for life, for light, for my own fragile ego. I'm in search of just one that makes sense. The best analogies ever written are life is, love is, you are, we are, I am. We poets only think we can do better while we smash our faces into our little wet paper walls, hold our feet to the ground like we do not know that we are weightless, we poets. We too heavy for all these weak measurements. I, a weak measurement of a poet, of what I think a poet is supposed to be. See me metaphor poorly. See me too many, too few, too obscure, too long, too short, too dumb, too easy analogy. See me poet and poet again. See me wonder why no one likes me. See me know my poems are terrible. See me write them anyway and wonder why no one likes my terrible poems. See me poet. See me go to jail. See me write poems about being in jail. See me go cross country for no reason. See me look for reasons. See me look. See me suicide. See me poet. See me never talk to family and friends because I'm always gone. See me lose family and friends because they got used to me always being gone. See me poet and poet again. See me cry alone after a show that don't go well. See me celebrate too much when a show does go well. See me scream at nothing because a promoter didn't pay what they promised and I don't know anyone for 100 miles. See me not mention any names because some of y'all might go to UMaine Presque Isle or know who the fuck Mike Gwynn and Aaron Dockard are. See me unafraid to add more names to that list. See me cry alone after the best show of my life. See me have those moments to myself. See me by myself in those moments. See me touch hearts, but only hug bodies. See me want to touch bodies so bad it hurts. See me want to be touched so bad it hurts. See me want to touch bodies so badly it hurts my heart. See me only get flirted with when I only do memorize poems. See me never know when I'm getting flirted with and hate all of my memorized poems. See me poet and poet and poet again. See me write, fail, read, drink, cuss, fuck, want, wish, lust, shine, smoke, fade. See me die. See me poet. So that, thank you. That poem was hard to write because it was so true. Plus, I mentioned a few names, and I went back and forth of whether or not to include them in the book, and I did. So it's out there. Don't trust those people. There. That happens though. You get stuck out there. You get stuck, and sometimes it's through no fault of a promoter. Sometimes you show up to a venue and they double booked you and it was no one's fault. Shout out there to Denver Mercury, because what they did was put us all on stage and just made the night go long as hell and everyone had a great time. Now that's, if you ever can go to the Denver Mercury poetry reading or poetry slam, please make that something you can do. It is absolutely one of the most wonderful places in the country. Now, I could go on and on forever about wonderful places around the country, and that's kind of what that poem was about too. I can do all of that, but I can't say that I went to all of my children's first grade or second grade parent-teacher conferences. There was a poet out of LA named Shihan that another poet you should absolutely check out. I'll try and remember all the names I shot out and put them in the thing. But Shihan had a line that speaks to me forever. You tell me if this poem is worth me missing my family. That's intense. And he said it better in that line than I said it better in that entire poem. But you know, Shihan. Can't nobody do what Shihan do. But nobody can do what any one of you do. That's what I preach in all of my workshops. You all have a unique voice that you all can use. And now is going to be the time that you use that voice and get some down on paper. So we're going to have about 15 minutes or so to write. Y'all do your thing and make it. We're talking specifically about these fights, these unexpected parts of jobs, these moments that make you question your jobs, the moments that make you proud of your jobs. All of those are on the table. But I want you to think about what your job is. And I don't just mean what you get paid to do. I mean what your job in this world is. It is bigger than just one thing, the world. What is your job here? Take about 15 minutes to think about that. See where that goes with you. It is broad on purpose. I do not give specific workshops anymore. Y'all get down though. Have a good time. And I'll see you in about 15 minutes. All right, let's take a couple minutes and jot down any ideas that you have that you don't want to forget, anything that you may be on that hot line. You got that hot line, just write that shit up at the top. You'll get to it later.
Excuse me, Uncle Will.
Yes, sir.
Your niece says goodnight. She loves you, and you should call her on her birthday Saturday.
She got a package on the way.
Ooh. Telling.
Yeah. Yeah. She got a package on the way. Well, you make sure you give her a hug for me, please.
I will. Also celebrating birthdays on Saturday, our friends Adam Gottlieb and Gregorio Gomez.
Oh, Gregorio.
It's a good day to be born.
Dude, that Weeds open mic was something special, man. It was something else. That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of fun. All right, so in all of my workshops, I always take this time in between while everybody's kind of coming down from their writing and trying to get their head right and everything so they can get back into the idea. I had my other shit going on. So this Tuesday, we will be at the North Town Coffee for Word Humboldt. When I Die poetry reading. Costumes are encouraged, masks are required. The other mask, this one and the others if you want. The other masks are optional. The one you have to, you get what I mean. Now the basic idea for the When I Die reading is we've had an ongoing contest, which is still ongoing. When I Die is after Ryan McClellan's poem. Gonna hype up Ryan again. You know, your friends, when you read them a poem and they're like, damn, that's the best thing I've ever heard. I love that poem. I want to hear that poem for the rest of my life. You're like, yeah, whatever. I don't believe you. You know, like you don't believe your friends when they tell you that shit. Like it just doesn't fit the same in your brain when it's your friends that say that. So I did a writing contest based on Ryan's poem, and he has no idea that it's happening whatsoever. None. No idea. None. However, his wife does. And she and I have orchestrated a surprise trip for me to Nashville, where he lives, shortly before his birthday, to hand him a stack of poems written after his poem and say, Tell me I don't like your poem again, motherfucker. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say it just like that too. And that's how I talk to him. So
You're going the long game on this one, huh?
it's the long game, man, because he
You're
wrote this poem in like
really dedicated.
2011,
I
2011
remember.
or 12, something like that. But I
Yeah.
love this poem. It's a wonderful poem. If you stop by the store, we got these flyers, or if you come by any Word Humboldt event, we got these flyers, or you can check the Redwood Reworded Instagram page. It's got everything on there. Ryan don't have Instagram, so we don't have anything to worry about there. It's got all the contact info on the
What
back.
century is that living in?
He's still on Facebook, man. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. He's still rocking with Facebook. I don't get it myself, but you know. Oh, are they listening? Is that you can't say the Facebook word? Nope. Now they're watching. I gotta put tape over my camera and shit now. All right, but yeah, this contest, if you do pick up one of the flyers, it says the deadline is Halloween. That's bullshit. That is a soft deadline. I did that so that by the time I go to see Ryan, there is a stack of them, right? The deadline, the real deadline is actually April 20th of next year. And that's the last day that you can get these actually in, is April 20th. And you are allowed multiple submissions. I have heard people ask that, so I will nip that right in the butt. Yes, if you write several of them in different tones to different people in different ways, cool. I'm struggling to get through my final drafts where I have written one like Ryan's telling how to take care of me and my legacy and my wife. And then the other one is written from the perspective of this little guy right here. That's Donnie. He's asleep right now. He's asleep. He ate dinner and just knocked right out. Yeah, the other poem is written from Donnie's perspective to Susanna about how to take care of me when he's gone. Because y'all, it's going to be ugly. Like, it's going to be ugly. I can't even truly see. You should see my notebook with these two poems on it. It is, I'm not joking. It is tear stained. It is like every time I get into it, I'm like, no, you know, like I just can't do it. You know, I got to take a break. All right.
I think I sent you one, but it was like 2 years ago, so I could find it again.
I
could write a new one. But...
No. I still have it.
Okay.
I have every single one that anyone has ever sent to me. I've kept every single one. So yeah, this has been going on like a soft idea of it for a very long time. And it's still kept a secret from him this entire time. So
more than 2 years, because that was when we like first met. It was like the second week. Anyway, so
yeah, no, that was
the first poem I ever read at the on the stage. So anyway,
yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I've been trying to make this happen for a minute. Speaking of workshops, every Sunday and Thursday morning at the Epitome Gallery, 422nd Street, there's a poetry workshop. It's completely free. We do take donations, but do not give till it hurts. Give till you're all right. And there's free donuts every week at both of them. And I started for a while having different writing prompt, or the same writing prompt on Sunday and Thursday, but pretty much the same folks show up to both. So I stopped doing that. I changed
Wednesday or Thursday?
It is no longer on Wednesday.
Okay.
It was on Wednesday to start with. We have moved to Thursday morning. And again, I know where I live. I know it's morning. I live in Humboldt County. They're not going to show up at 10. One person shows up at 10 usually, and it's Danny, because Danny is 5 minutes early to everything. I love Danny. But yeah, so 10 a.m., if you show up at 11, nobody's going to be mad. The first hour, we usually hang out anyway. All right. Now, all of that is out of the way. I want to hear some of y'all's work. Who wants to read a poem that they are working on just now? Any takers? Oh, that's not
I
good.
can read, but I didn't want to go first because mine is some weird stuff. So, because I only write really weird stuff now.
I like
anyway.
weird shit. Can you please read me a weird fucking poem?
Okay, I'll read. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Elizabeth.
To be a mouth and sin eater, a consumed and flightless bird, be work, be good work, in your mouth / in mine, be body, be ising, body well what work is, well is a watered place I drop down into, drop down, menu, keeps also the work. Have I told you new stories of the moon yet today? Have I fed to you whatever dense texture I found? And then that's it.
Yo, I love the start of this. I love the start of this. I love that I love the esoteric shit. You know, I'm kind of into that right now too. I'm writing in a similar fashion to what you have there. Not the same, obviously. Nobody can write like anybody else unless they're Jock and Styles. But you have a very unique voice. You every poem you write is very unique to itself, and this one is no different.
Well, sometimes they're the same over and over again. I like that too. Anyway, but I appreciate the compliment. I just think that also they're kind of the same as each other.
No, well, maybe to you, but not to the listener. You know what I mean? It's what it is to you is not what it is to the listener. Once you speak it to truth, then it's not yours anymore. However they take it is however they take it. You have no control over that. The challenge is to direct them to do so, and I think you do a very good job of that. And I think you direct your poems very well. Like if they were films, it would be on point. You dig what I mean?
Thanks.
Like every scene, every image or every metaphor is very distinct and very lyrical. You write very lyrically. You know, it feels like there's a melody to it. I dig it though. I know it's going to be a lot longer. So there's really not too much to say as far as like what to do with it, because I think you have more of a foundation for it than I could add to. And I wouldn't want to direct you in any way that was opposite of what you had in mind, because it's still being born. I don't want to tell you, you know, it's a boy or a girl before the bottom half come out, you know.
I've been doing more visual stuff, so I wonder if it has a visual destiny. Anyway.
Yes, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Why I brought up like the idea of film, because it is very, very, very image driven, and those images have a natural flow from one to the other.
Thank you, friend. Also, workshop leader and general poetry.
You're awesome.
You know,
you're awesome. We miss you. We miss you at the shows and at the workshops. I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, I miss you too. It just didn't work out with the timing yesterday, but I think I'll be able to come soon in person. So anyway.
Right on. Well, yeah, I forgot. Last night was our first poetry slam at Richard's Goat in Arcata, California. If if you don't know, they have a little side place called the Miniplex. It's like a little mini movie theater, an indie movie theater, dig. And yeah, we're gonna have a poetry slam there once a month. And look at the pictures. It is absolutely the best room for a poetry slam I think I've ever seen. We're gonna
Acoustics
make
are
it a
super
little,
great too. I haven't been for the poetry slam yet, but I'm excited for that just because the acoustics
right.
are
No, the
amazing.
acoustics are perfect in there. They are perfect. It is so, the sound system is flawless. I can't say enough about it. You can ask Dylan. I've been trying to get up the courage to hit up Richard's Goat and be like, hey, let us do a slam in here for 2 years. 2 years. And now we're doing it, and it's awesome. I absolutely love it. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Elizabeth. Who would like to
Thank
read
you.
next? Billy Tuggle.
And I'll hype up whoever it is in the chat because I like to do that. So.
Billy Tuggle, please go forth.
What's up?
What's up, man?
So this is the third week. I've had the honor to facilitate the opening, and I wrote a lot of things with Susanna, and I'm looking forward to next week, but I may end up jumping the gun with the draft because I spent most of my 15 minutes out on the smoke lounge with your lovely big sis, but also
hug her too.
scribbling, and mostly scribbling. Mostly scribbling in snippets, which is my general writing process. Truth be told, right now I'm not feeling writing, but I'm always down to do something in a workshop. And a workshop always pulls something out of you. And at the very least, it gave me a concept for one of the things they submit for the Ali project. Having said that, here's just some, I have no idea how this is going to fit into the framework, but these are just snippets.
Work.
Away at midnight. 1, took every shot from the caveman and stood tall in righteous pain. 2, the punch, it drew blood. So I returned my reputation tenfold. 3, the freedom is the fight, the force, the counter, the guard, the counterattack, the flex, the speed, the breath, the music, the dance, the pop, the dance, the pop, the look that I took your best and showed it to you and you stammered, talking shit before you stumbled. 4, the mountain was not the biggest challenge. It was remembering what I learned before coming down. Muhammad Ali.
Right on, brother. Yo, I can't wait for this poem. I cannot wait for this fucking poem. Man alive. Donnie, shut up. Donnie even liked it. He's over here growling at it, you know.
See,
all right.
I'm over here in my room with a tote books and working on fucking post-its. This is the process right here. If you ever wanted to know, this is the process.
I love it.
Yeah, this notebook. This is a pretty nice notebook.
That is a nice notebook. Dylan, where did you get that notebook? That logo.
Pre-worded books.
What's that logo?
Probably in reverse.
Man, I can't wait for this poem. I love that you took it in a persona direction. You know, I've heard Muhammad Ali.
More first person than persona, because this is one of those things I can tell you right off the bat. right off the bat. It's that mess shit where you're really talking about yourself.
Word. Okay. Okay.
Like,
I see that.
I'm not even gonna get into
Now,
any
okay. Now that
pretentious. I'm not gonna get into any pretentious artist bullshit. I am definitely using the man to talk about me.
right.
No bullshit.
Yes. Yes. And that's what I dig about it, because in that persona direction, you're able to show the weakness, quote unquote, of yourself in the reflection of this person who also had strength. And that gives you a whole different dimension. A dichotomy of those like 5 things mixing together is going to work really well. I like the jabbiness. Like one of the things that Ernest Hemingway wrote about or talked about concerning writing that Ryan did not mention in his poem is the quick and concise, the punchy, right? And you made the stanzas feel like punches, and for it to be a boxing, for lack of a more in-depth description, the boxing attitude was there, the boxing feel was there because the words were punchy. I dig that a lot. I want to hear the rest of that. You're gonna have to send that shit to me. You're gonna have to send it to the stand up and be heard thing so that we can get it in that chapbook. Y'all make sure that you submit the stuff that you work on in these workshops. Polish them a little bit. I know, take time, do your first and second and third and fifth drafts. If you're not editing, you're not doing the work of a writer. You're just writing things down. Yeah, I want to hear the rest of it. I want to hear the rest of this jibber jabbers, this scripts, the scribbles, and get it going. Hell yeah. That's a start. Then, hell yeah. All right. Dylan, you want to read next?
Sure.
Word. Let me hear it.
I don't got too much so far, but got something.
Don't matter.
I know.
RTFE, man.
I know. I knew you were gonna say that.
Let's go, baby brother. Let's go.
When we were younger, our job was to live, to grow inches, to be a wonderful wild thing through the blind punches that is growing up. Now that my bones begin to feel the years they've lived, my job is to stitch a story of words in the shape of a hand to pull you up from the mat. Tattooed with my mistakes, tattooed with lessons. I want to help others grow inches and blossom without the blood dripping from their lip, get them out of this ring alive. That's what I got so far.
Hell yes. Hell yes. I love this direction, dude. Using the entire boxing idea as the metaphor itself. That's a great idea. You might even start with the first line with like edit something into the first bit of something like that, so that you integrate it even sooner, so that it's prevalent all the way through the poem. Or maybe the soft delivery that you did here is the better way to go. I don't think there's going to be a way to tell until you get the rest of it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I first started, it wasn't going to. It kind of went that direction after I was like.
Oh, okay. Word. So yeah, you might want to bring it in earlier. But again, you might not. Again, as you go, you'll get it. There's still the words to cut that we do, right? Like the and so, but, because, every, always, never, anytime, so big. Any of those, cut them, get them out of there. Like, was it so big? Was it so big? You're a poet,
like,
and
there's like 8 O's
so
on it.
big.
Like 8 O's.
Like, obviously, if the words are integral for the poem itself, then they got to stay. But if you can cut any word at all, cut the word. any word, any breath, any fucking syllable that you can cut from a poem, cut it. That's how you get to the bare bones, real heart of what you're talking about. And Dylan, you're one of the best editors I know. You go straight away from, like, the first draft is conversational. It's like you're talking to somebody, and then that second, third, and fifth drafts, then it gets broken down so far that it's almost unrecognizable. But somehow you polished it and yeah. Dylan's a good writer. If y'all didn't know, Dylan's got a couple of books out there on Amazon. I think actually you can still get some of mine on Amazon too. I know I put that in the chat otherwise, but I think you still can get some of mine on Amazon. It's the devil, but like, you know, the devil got cheap prices, man. I don't know what to do about it. I really don't. I struggle with it. Every time I click place order, I'm like, God damn it, you know? But for those of y'all who did not know, I am the new owner of Swimming with Elephants Publications. I will be taking over as editor-in-chief from Kat. Dylan here is going to be my assistant editor-in-chief. He will be my number two. I'll be his number two with Word Humboldt, and he will be my number two with the publishing company. You know, it's family. It's all about family. And, you know, Ryan, he doesn't even know. This is one of the beauty parts of the contest. Ryan doesn't even know. He's already said that he wants to be an editor. and I was like, I assumed. But he has no idea that his first job is gonna be the contest with his poem. So yeah, I can't wait for this. Yeah, you know all the editing stuff. I'm not gonna waste time with the minor stuff. The way you're going is really gonna be fun. I know you, and I know you well enough as a sports fan to know that your boxing lingo is pretty good. So I think you're gonna throw a good shot at it. Yeah, I'm interested to see that. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun.
But the whole what the thing, that Mark Smith poem you talked about with the bring the next one up, that was kind of like where that metaphor was from, but with boxing.
Yeah. Proof that even a piece of shit can sometimes say cool things. I ain't sorry. Yeah, no, pull the next one up. That's what it's about. You know, help the next person become a better writer. Once you learn something about writing, teach it to other people. Once you teach it to other people, they can teach it to other people. And then everybody's a better writer. And if you do that inside a community, your community lifts itself, you know, rising tide, man, rising tide lifts all boats. So you get good writers in your community, you'll get better writers in your community. All right, who wants to read next? Anybody?
Sure, why not?
All right, there's Todd. Man, I miss you, Todd.
Miss you guys too.
Where are you at these days?
I'm in Missouri.
What? Where in Missouri?
Trimble, Missouri. I'm in like the middle of cornfields and soy fields.
Is that anywhere near Rolla?
I don't know. It's like 40 minutes from Kansas City.
Oh, you're on the other side.
Yeah,
you're on the other side. Okay. Yeah. You're on the scary side.
I don't know about that, but
no, the southern side is the scary side of Missouri. Yeah, anything. Well, yeah, all of Missouri, all of Missouri. Now that I'm not gonna bag on your state. I'm from Illinois, so I mean, there's that. All right, let's hear your poem, brother.
All right. I cook to salivate the tongue, fill the belly, give good vibes to a satisfied soul. I write to entertain the brain, bring warmth to the soul, hopefully give them a good laugh. Truthfully, let's put a smile on their face. Some joker said that once. Unlike him, my intentions are more pure. I want to bring joy to people through food and words. Cook some lyrical goodness served on paper plates. Smell my writing style wafting through cast iron notebooks, black as night, heavy as a brick. Nothing gets burnt in there. Crispy golden nuggets for the brain makes them think. Symbolism, imagery, activism, and donuts. I just want to bring peace and laughter to the world.
Yo, that was dope. That was fucking right. Yeah, the silent cheer there. Yeah, right. Like, I got no notes. I don't know what to say. Don't change anything. I mean, that's a solid poem, dude. That's a solid poem. I mean, you know the cleanup stuff. You've been to enough of my workshops. You know what to do. But that's a solid poem, brother. That's just all around a solid poem.
Thank you.
Man, I love how you just you set up one image, but then you deliver another one, but that other one is still clear. And that's so cool. That's so cool. I couldn't do that. It's like bait and switch, but we're happy about it. You know, like you set up the metaphor to be this one thing, or at least, you know, an active listener would think one thing, and then you deliver solid on something else. Yeah. You know, I've always dug the way you write, bro. You know that I always would hype your shit up. You know, I've said before at Word Humboldt from the stage, so I got no problem saying it here. You are a dangerously underrated writer. You have a solid career ahead of you in the publication field, I feel. I think if you started submitting poems, you would succeed at that very much.
I've been working on it. Been mostly focusing on writing, improving on some of my stuff so far, but yeah, been working on it.
Yeah, sharpen your sword, homie. Sharpen your sword, but you know, still got to cut a motherfucker once in a while. Why do all of my metaphors end up violent? So yeah, man, I love to hear your work, bro. You know that. I hope you come back next week, and anytime we're online doing stuff, man, I hope to see you.
Me too.
All right, brother. All right, thank you, man. Would anyone else like to read? Anybody? And that's totally acceptable. Yeah, so I think that kind of wraps it up. Everybody who read something, thank you very much for sharing. Let me click on the chat here. Oh, okay. Yeah, y'all were amazing. Thank y'all who read. I really appreciate y'all. And here's Susanna. Right.
Yay!
Love you guys.
Yeah, I miss all
If
y'all.
you're in the Eureka area, go to the Epitome Gallery and buy my book.
That's yes. Actually, let me see here. Let me look around. I have most of the people here. I have some kind of their poetry in my bookstore. Please come by. I got that one.
It's backwards and it's in limited edition. You may never see it again. Julia 15 has one in her house. Get one in yours.
Yes, come by and get some of Billy's books. Come by and get some of Dylan's books. Todd, you better
But
submit.
wait, there's more.
What? Not incantation.
Yes, come and buy books. Come and buy books. I've got this really wonderful new book by Terrence Hayes. I know I push Terrence Hayes a lot. I love Terrence Hayes. But yeah, I've got a wonderful new one by Terrence Hayes that will knock you out. And plus, there's all the other one. I got some more Willie Perdomo. I got his newest one. So come and check that out. Those of you who don't know, the bookstore only stocks Underheard Voices new. I only stock new books from Underheard Presses, Underheard Poets, and underappreciated poets and small presses. That's all I fuck with new. Used, it's used. I don't care. They're not getting the money for it at that point. I am, so at that point, I don't care. But the new ones, I only do small press. So if you're looking for a major press, let me know and I'll order it for you. All right. Come by the store, 420 2nd Street in Eureka. Come to Word Humboldt every Tuesday. Check the Instagram page for the location. We do bounce back and forth from Humboldt Bay Social Club to Northtown Coffee. It's every other week. We do blah, 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 right? Be on the lookout for the Word Humboldt Poetry Slam / Redwood Poetry Slam. It's the same shit. It happened last night. It was good. It was a good time. It was a really good time. And I can't thank y'all enough. Dylan actually won, but fuck him. Who cares?
That was literally how you announced me.
That is exactly how I announced him as the winner too. I was like, this next dude, I don't know why y'all gave him high scores. Like, I was dogging him, but I love you, brother. I'm just playing. Anybody
those
that knows, I'm just playing.
To anybody that doesn't know, this was like the three of us like completely slap happy about 5 years ago, right around this time.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. Yeah, it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was right around this time of year.
Some pictures came up.
Yeah, they popped up on my shit too.
Yeah, that Northampton show was so good. I saw that picture of all of us in the back of the van.
Yeah. That was a pretty cool night, man. That was a pretty cool night. We had a lot of fun that night. All right. I miss y'all. I will see you as soon as I possibly fucking can.
I'll see you in 7 days.
And in 7 days, come back and jump on the thing and we'll talk to you then. Thank y'all for coming. Watch the Ali documentary and I love you. Like my big brother say, I love you. There's not a goddamn thing you can do about it. Good night, y'all.
Love you, man.
Thank you.
Love y'all.
Good night. And bang.